I hope. Can you hear me? Can you can you hear me? Can you hear that?
Yo. Oh, set this camera. There we go. What's up? What's up?
T2Y, what's up, bro?
What's going on with you, man?
Can y'all hear that more? Can y'all hear that music? Can you hear the music?
I don't hear nothing.
I'm not even gonna play with it like that. Can you hear it?
Nah, no music.
I'm gonna do something. I am going to do something because I'm not going to let this. I have a new mixer, so I want to make sure that this shit is right. And I couldn't do a test run, so
Why you do that?
can
I'm
y'all
a
hear
smoke.
me?
Why you do
I
that?
can't.
I'm a
I can't.
smoke
Now I
on
can't hear nobody for some reason. I have no idea why I can't hear nobody. I can't hear nobody.
it. Why you do that? I'm a smoke on the Bama pack.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Still can't hear me? I can't hear you, TGY.
I can hear you loud and clear. Can y'all hear me in the chat?
For some reason, I can't hear nobody. For some reason, I can't hear anybody.
Y'all let me know if y'all can hear me in the chat.
Hold on. Coach.
So you started already?
Yeah, I'm having a little technical difficulty. I can't hear anybody. They can hear me, but I can't hear anybody.
Nah, I'm on the thing with StreamYard now, dog. I'm blasting them, dog.
Huh?
I said I'm blasting them.
I can't hear nobody. We got Brad Hayden in the building. We got T2Y in the building. But for some reason, I can't hear nobody.
Well, I'm on the line with
What's
I'm
going
on
on,
the
Brad?
chat with these people now. I've been on since 7:30 messing with these folks, dog.
All right,
What's going on, fellas?
just hit me.
I got put the chat
You
on
know,
Twitch so I can
just smoking on the Bama
I
pack.
do that. I don't know how to do that, but I'm live right now, so let me get this situated, and then we'll
I'll
talk.
just jump on in and just put it in the comment. I'll be on it.
All right.
Everything been straight with you, TY?
Yeah, pretty good.
Good to hear, man.
Yeah, when the Canes were today, put up my man cave a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah. Dropped the
I'm
video.
trying to get together. New board, and can't. New board and trying to get it to work.
Yeah, I left like 2 or 3 spots open on there. For basically, if anybody wants to send anything that they want to see in the videos on there, they can send it. If not, I'll give it a week or 2 and I'll just fill it myself.
Okay. Yeah, I was telling Zoe I might have a little surprise guest join us tonight.
Okay, that's what's up.
Oh yeah, look, we're live. I didn't even realize we were live. Okay. So yeah, I mean the fans that are watching, we might have a nice little surprise guest tonight.
Oh snap, Zoe up.
All right, man. Yeah, you're in charge now. You gotta take over.
Y'all all go subscribe to both our channels.
We got
Oh,
Hurricane Logan in the building. What's up, Logan? Hurricane Kilo.
let me put the comments on. Let me flip flop these screens so I can actually see them. Okay, put that one over there. Perfect. Okay, there we go. All right. I'll be able to read them. All right. Let me see. You got it together?
Yeah, I can hear everybody. I had to go back to my old board. I switched to a new board, and I couldn't hear nothing. And I had it set up before, but I couldn't hear nothing. So we have to get. I got to start it from the beginning, so y'all can hear me now. So start this shit. Sorry, people. Y'all know I'm a computer dummy. Y'all already know. Y'all already know I'm a computer dummy. But here we go. And I'm hoping y'all know what this means. I'm hoping y'all know what this means. Because T2Y knows what it means. Brad knows what it means. Y'all know what this means, right? For these two guys that are on with me and Coach Hayes, who rocks with this University of Miami shit, we are all members of the Canes World Order. Say hello to the bad guys. The t-shirts are coming. The hats are coming. And I promise you that this is something that everybody that's a part of this is going to be able to market, do what they want to do with it. Invest is not mine, it's all of ours. The Canes World Order. CWO, bitches. We here for smoke with anybody. Any team. Anybody, we here for the smoke. Period. It is what it is, man. It is what it is, man. I don't care about no other team. It's not about disrespecting another team. It's about just beating their motherfucking asses every chance we get. And on this channel right here, there is no filter. There is none of that shit. No filter, no nothing. We are going to just enjoy, talk shit, drink, and kick ass. Period. Period. You guys ready? How y'all feel, man? What's going on, T2Y? What's going on, Brad? What's good?
Not much, man. Chilling. Appreciate you having me on tonight.
Like I said, I'm just smoking on a Bama pack right now.
Smoke on them. Smoke on them. I could tell you this much right here, and I've done my investments and everything. I don't think I'll do any more upgrades. I can't handle the shit that I got, but I wanted to make sure that with like I said, Brad came up with the idea of doing all of this right here, putting everybody together, and I was just sitting back one day and I said, man, it might be time for rebranding. And I actually talked to Brad before I rebranded. It's like come up with something, and hit Louisiana Kane up. When I came up with it, he was like, "T-shirts are already getting made." And when y'all see the design of the T-shirts, y'all are going to be like, "What the fuck?" Because they ready. We're gonna be ready, man. And like I said, this year right here, man. This is the year of the takeover. This is the year T2Y running his shit the way he running his shit. This is the year Coach Hayes running his shit. This is the year the Hurricane YouTubers just doing what the fuck we want to do, when we want to do it, how we want to do it, and ain't nobody gonna say a motherfucking thing about it. That's how I feel.
Hey Zoe, we got a special guest.
I see that.
I told you a little earlier, and I told the fans that we might have someone special. I want to introduce someone that's gonna be taking part of this program for the next 3 to 4 years, and I promise y'all, when we talk about bringing dogs into this program, someone that stays from the city of Miami, puts the city on his map, and is gonna do bright things. I'm talking about Lawrence Seymour out of Miami Central. He's going to be attending the University of Miami starting tomorrow, first day on campus. Big baby, man, appreciate you hopping on with us tonight.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Of course, man.
Big baby, man. Let me explain something to you, man. First off, it's an honor for Brad to be able to get you over here and have a conversation. No, we're not going to be able to talk to you once you get on campus, unless you're with Kane's All Access or whatever. How excited are you about this program and what direction we're headed in?
First, I'm very excited. People been saying Miami's been off the map for like a little minute. They ain't had that dog and that swag come yet, but I feel as though the 21 class will bring it back.
You talk about bringing it back to Big Baby. Obviously early in your kind of late and early in your recruiting process. We knew you were kind of staying solid to Miami, but there was a time where another rival state in Florida, that's obviously the University of Florida, they were starting to make a little strong push for you. What ended up being the deciding factor that kind of put you to say, man, I gotta stay in my city and put the city on the map?
It was just a lot. My mom, and I chose Miami because I'm a hometown kid. I love the program. My grandma also was a UM fan, and when she passed, at first it all started when I wasn't going to play no more. At the age of 12, I would stop playing because she passed. But then that just gave me the motivation and the dog to keep going. But then I was like, forget it. Miami is where I'm going now.
Yeah, I have that. Well, my mother passed when I was 17, so that is a it's definitely a hard pill to swallow. But I'm so glad that you were able to, take that into a positive, and not just go to Miami, but finish school, because it's a rough city. So to finish school and then get a scholarship at the University of Miami, young brother, my hats off to you. Are there any current Hurricanes on the roster that you kind of look up to, and any former Canes that you kind of look up to?
Right now I look up to John Campbell, Navon. That's pretty it, because I hold a conversation with him more, and I worked out with John a couple times, so I see how he move and how he operates. I'm just trying to do that or even better.
Talking about you operating and trying to get better, Lawrence, you've been training a lot with, I believe it's forward performance athletes right now. I've been seeing, on your social media platform, you've been, doing a lot of movement with your feet. Talk to us a little bit about, some of the, strengths and weaknesses of your game and what you're kind of, trying to take to that next level during this off season.
Me, I do most like skill position stuff, like what wide receivers do, like what DBs would do. But I do mainly what a DB would do because we do the same thing, like getting back paddle. So I think that helped me a lot while I was working out. That was me everything I used to be doing.
Yeah. And what was it about the University of Miami that made you want to commit?
It's just the love they were showing me, and they put linemen in the league, so I said, why not?
How was your relationship with Coach Justice?
Oh, it's great to me. We talk every here and then because I know he's busy, so when he do get a chance to talk to me, I know he's taking time out to talk to me. But it's just great just getting in contact with a coach and stay in contact with him. So can't complain about that.
I'm gonna ask you a question. What do you think you need to work on? What's your strength, and what do you think that you really need to work on in order to make an impact your freshman year when you come into Miami?
Probably my run game. I need to work on a little bit more, like with my balance. But that's the only thing I need to work on. But my everything else, like my pads, my pulling, I got all the other stuff down pat. But I had it down pat for high school. But now I'm thinking when we start practice Monday, I see where I'm really at Monday.
Yeah, you mentioned your high school, Lawrence. I mean, you're coming from Miami Central. You got guys like Najee Davenport, Joseph Yearby, Willis McGahee, Devontae Freeman. You got Cook, right? Navon Donaldson, yourself. What is it like, coming from a powerhouse program like Miami Central? Like, do you carry a type of, weight on your shoulder or a chip on your shoulder coming in to, your hometown college and wanting to prove something for yourself day one?
Yes. Miami's a great program. Laws came to that program. And yes, it's like you do something that Miami Central, you use an impact on the team. Of course, you want to hold big weight on your shoulders. It's like a height you got to live up while you're there. Overall, you just got to live up to it.
Now you look at that Ring of Honor at the University of Miami. You look at all those Hall of Famers and all of those college NCAA Hall of Famers and the championships, and the fan base is very, very, very crucial about. Do me a favor, just stay off Twitter. Just stay off Twitter. But the fan base expectations sometimes are a lot higher than realistic the way it should be. But this year we feel like we have a great opportunity at winning some games.
Hello?
I can hear you. You're back. You blinked out for a second. I can hear you. Can y'all hear him?
Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you.
I can hear you.
I can't hear you.
He said he can't hear nobody. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, it's because someone ended up texting him. He's gonna have to log out.
Yeah, you got to log out, log back in. I'll put the key back in the chat for you. Oh, I'm typing it. You got to log out, log back in. You got his number. Just let him log out, log back in. He just logged out.
Yeah. Hello, back.
That's big to get one of these kids on, man, because this is why I say we have to show these kids love, not just before they sign and when they sign, but when they go through struggles.
Yeah.
That's our biggest problem at times as fans is when the kids go through struggles, not showing them that same love. We got to show them that same love no matter what. You're back. You
can hear me now?
Yeah.
All right, my bad. Somebody was calling me. No one was calling me.
You good. So you were. I mean, last time I checked, you were currently listed at like 6'1.5", 293. What's your exact weight? About to arrive on campus tomorrow.
I think they should change that because right now I'm 6'2", about 315, 320.
Ooh,
a little bit less better shape than me. He almost where I'm gonna be at. He almost where I'm at. You know what I'm saying?
Now, what's the biggest impact you want to make in your freshman season?
Right now, I got a lot of goals I want to
Now,
accomplish.
what's the biggest impact you want to make in your freshman season?
Right now, I got a lot of goals I want to accomplish.
Now,
We
what's
got echo in the
the
back.
Hold on,
somebody got to mute the YouTube.
I think that was him again. No, that wasn't Coach A. I think that was him again. I don't know if when he came back on, echo or whatever. Yeah, I think when he came, sometimes you come back on, you get that double speaker thing. I don't know if he. Hello. T2Y, I think T2Y muted his. You still here, right, Brad?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Yeah, I think he had that double echo. He'll come back in there. There you go.
Coach, what's up, man?
What's going on?
We got Lawrence Seymour in here.
You can hear me now?
Man, that's cool.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, we got him.
I had to put my phone. I had to cut my phone on and put on do not disturb. My bad.
Hey, man, I appreciate
it. Now you good.
So what were you saying, T2Y? What were you asking him?
Yeah, your freshman year, what's the biggest impact you want to make on this program?
Just come in and show my leadership, my game. But I got a lot of stuff to work on because it's a faster game, a faster pace, and people be my size or even bigger. So I hope I just come in, do everything as a freshman, do my 3 years, and get up out of there.
Hey, I like that.
Now, I want. I'm sorry, T2Y.
What goals are you setting for your body weight and your height and all that? Well, you can't control the height, but body weight.
My body weight mainly right now, just still trying to lose some weight. So when I get there, I can turn everything into muscle. So my body weight, I lost some weight, but I'm just trying to turn everything to muscle now. I'm watching when I eat and stuff like that.
Coach Hayes, we got legendary Coach Hayes in the building. I have to let him ask you a few questions, man. Coach, what you got for the young man?
Oh man, hey man! First of all, man, congratulations to you, man, for making the right choice in your life. You know what I mean, going to the youth. So you already perfect to me, man. If you know what I mean. But second, man, big shout out to you guys at Central. Mr. Bethune, the principal, and Smitty and all those guys, the head coach, Coach Smith, call him Smitty, and AJ and those guys, man. But anyhow, man, let me ask you this, man. Going to the U, I think I just jumped in late. So you guys, you actually heading there tomorrow. Is that correct?
Yes.
I didn't hear him. What did he say?
He said yes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So here it is, man. Let me ask you. I'm just asking, and they may have asked you this already. I don't know, but if I did, guys, just say, Coach, we asked it already. But when you head into the U, man, when you put foot on ground tomorrow on campus, what is your first thing you want to accomplish?
First thing I want to accomplish, first finding my class. That's the first thing. I take school first. Just get the feel of it, because it's real different from high school. That's the main thing, just getting the feel of everything, and just trying to get to know the play as fast as I can. So that's basically it.
I got you. I'm gonna just tell you like this, bro. Football ain't that different. You know what I mean? A down block is a down block. Pull block is a pull block, bro. They just got a different name for it. So I'm gonna give you a little secret, man. When you go in there and they give you a playbook, easy way to remember things is, right, when you get your playbook, you take the same terminology as you start to learn. I'm just giving you a secret I've given a lot of my players.
Yeah.
When they give you a particular play, you're supposed to do a particular thing. You take that and you put the same terminology that you had in high school right next to it. You understand?
Yeah.
So it's word association in the sense of, they may call it lightning left. You know what I mean? And you guys may have called it laser. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That helps you remember the type of thing because you've gotten 3-4 years of high school in your mind, and then eventually that'll go away. When you try to remember an entire playbook in college, it's going to be too much. So you got to work your way through it. And that's the easiest way to do it, man. Because trust me, zone left, y'all did that at Central, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You did zone right at Central, right?
Yes.
You did double team to the linebacker at Central, right?
Yes.
Okay, you pulled at Central, right?
Yes.
You pass block for 3 steps at Central.
Yes.
You gonna do the same thing in college, bro. They just got a different name for it. You understand? And that's learning the playbook. You are not going to do anything new that you haven't done already. You're just going to be taught a couple of different techniques that may be new to you, and you may be taught different terminology. But at the end of the day, football is still football, bro. You understand? And so don't let it overwhelm you. Just take it step by step. You'll get it.
Yes.
I think the only thing that's not taught is the size and the strength of them juniors and seniors. Like that might be the only. That might be the only.
Oh yeah, you got to go in there. Hey, you got to go in there and fight the beat. But what I'm saying is that's part of the game. But guess what? You had to fight that same beast, bro. When you were in 10th grade and that senior was coming out.
Hey,
that's all I'm trying to say.
Hey, you 100%.
Just getting acclimated. You just gotta get acclimated to it. Just like you said, just like you said on the first day of school, you just gotta get used to it. It's the same thing on the football field. Like Coach Hayes said, man, it's the same steps. Just getting acclimated to new weather. That's it.
And don't let nobody be hungrier than you. You don't let nobody be more of a dog than you. Like you, I'm not saying you go out there and I'm gonna say it like this here. People say a lot of people might not understand it for real, but heart really matters, man. You can have all the talent, you can have all the skill set in the world, but a skill set, size, speed, strength, none of that matters without heart.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Now, I'm asking this. Going into the Hurricanes locker room, you're going to make some brothers for life. As of right now, who are the guys that you're currently, in contact with so far?
Right now, Ryan, Khalil, Mello. That's basically it.
Okay. Hey, who's your roommate, if you don't mind me asking?
It's me, Ryan, and Khalil.
You, Ryan, and Khalil? Okay. Nice. Well, I mean, honestly, man, I don't really got any more questions for you, man. I know you got a big day tomorrow. Get some sleep. I mean, I know you've been waiting a very long time for this moment, man. We just want to appreciate you for coming on and taking some time out of your day, man.
Thanks for having me.
One thing I can say, and if you guys do watch the channel, and Brad knows, T2Y knows, Coach Hayes knows, I don't allow no bashing of players over here. I don't care how bad you played or how we do not bash players. So you will always be safe over here. Like bash players over here, you get blocked because I respect you and I'm happy for you joining the University of Miami.
Yes.
To try to make us great again.
Yes.
So I appreciate it.
Yeah. And my last bit of advice for you go, my man. Listen, bro. Do what you've been doing. Get all the reps you can. And I'm just going to sound crazy when I say this. The more reps you have, the more failures you're going to have. But that's also the more growth you're going to have. Always remember that. The more chances you get out there to fail, or the same amount of chance you're gonna have to succeed, because it's always gonna be a learning moment. Yes. So, man, look here. You know how we do at them camps, dog. You've been in them down and dirty camp. You steal all the reps you can, bro, because you want to be seen, right? You know how it go right from the crib. Hey, man, dude be over there playing with his fingers, man. Let me get that rep, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And hey, be that dog that you been, dog. Just because you at the collegiate level, you still the same dog, man. So go out there, man. You know how to do it. I ain't got to tell you how to do it. But always remember, the more opportunities you get, the more chances you get to learn from. So don't ever hesitate to take a rep, man.
Yeah. Before you go, man, all I'm gonna say is 4-0. 4-0 against Florida State.
We gotta do that, man. We need a couple of pancakes with you. Get you a couple of pancakes with that too. Hey, love you, little bro, man. Glad you hit Miami Hurricane, man. Best of luck to you, man, and hope to see you on after Saturdays. Hope to see you on Sundays, man.
For sure.
Thank you.
Yep.
Right,
and I got to do this real quick, like one more time, because I messed it up in the beginning, and we got 4 of us on here, so. Gotta do it. And we have Coach Hayes. We have Brad Hader. We have T2Y. We got Harlem Hurricane Zoe. new Kane's World Order. CWO, baby. We are going to murder this shit. We're going to do something for real, man. I'm telling you, it's going to be awesome. Everybody got some platforms. We just got to work it out. And like I say, I thank Brad for it, man, for getting me on board because it was nothing I ever thought I would do. And I truly appreciate Coach Hayes for inviting me into his show. Me and T2Y have been rocking for a long time. Had differences, settled differences. Probably gonna have differences again and settle them again. That's what brothers do. But we have a few more people that's gonna be a part of this. And I'm just telling you, man, we gonna support each and every YouTube channel that wants to support us back. That's how we are going to do it. It's gonna be love, man. If you want to be a part of whatever Brad has going, you want to be a part of whatever T2Y has going, Coach Hayes has going, I have going, and there's a few more YouTubers out here. If you want to be a part of this, because we all have our own different things, but believe me, I'm gonna push everything that they do. We got to get the Stable Game Timmy shirts out. We got to get the Stable Game Timmy shirts out. We got to make sure that when Brad is on Kane's Insight, we got to make sure that we go support him and push him the best. We got to go support T2Y. Man, Coach Hayes broke it down to me, man. There's enough time in the day, and there's enough Canes fans to spread love all the way through, man. I'm so blessed. I'm so blessed to have went through the struggles that I went through with T2Y and talked with Brad and talked to Coach Hayes. That I'm telling you, there's nothing that can kill me unless we get blew out by Alabama. Then y'all might see the old me.
Man, I hope we're gonna get.
We gonna win that game. We winning that game. What you think about that, Coach? I'm gonna ask Brad first. Brad, what do you think? What do you think about the Alabama game, man? How you feeling now, man? You feel a little bit better, man?
Honestly, no. I mean, I think we're not gonna. I hope it's a good game. You know, I think at least hopefully we could cover the spread, whatever it might be, maybe like 24-27. But there's a lot of question marks as far as like we're still stuck in this situation where we're putting a lot of high standards on players and positions that we haven't seen yet execute. You know, there's a lot of pressure on these young men. And, you know, if we were going back to our normal football seasons where we're opening up against Bethune-Cookman or Central Michigan, first game of the season, you know, or our big game is second, third game, then okay, you know, I might feel a little more comfortable, relaxed. But first game of the season, all the eyes, spotlights on you, big time Atlanta Stadium against Alabama.
But see, that's why I like it. And in those games, I have not forgot about you. You forgot about me because you ain't been to the channel in about 16 months. But you will always be a part of the channel, but you know.
The thing is, it's like Alabama, so they got a lot of new guys coming in, right? They got a lot of, you know, question marks just like us, but young talent, but they're all 5 stars. And as we know with Alabama, they are very good at plugging and playing guys. When someone gets drafted, someone replaces them and they're the next guy up. Same thing with on the coaching staff, right?
But that's a little different. That's a little different though, Brad. They usually replace 1 or 2 guys. They don't replace whole teams. They're replacing almost a whole team this year. And I feel like this is when I want to get them. I would rather get them early than late because if you notice, all the Alabama losses come early. They never lose late in the season. So if I get them, I want to get them with they got a new quarterback. They got to learn the playbook. They got a new running back. They got to see. They still have the star. They still have the stars over us. Don't get me wrong. They still have the stars over us. But at the end of the day, they're gonna make mistakes because it's early. And like I say, Nick Saban he's definitely lost a lot of early games. His late seasons is Clemson. You know, but I'd rather catch them because see, we have nothing. We can go out there and play loose. We really have nothing to lose. If they lose early to us, that's why I say all the pressure's on them. And I think that's why I say I think we can pull it out, man, because the best time to catch Alabama is early, not late. I don't want to catch them.
Yeah, if you look at Alabama offense that they're losing to the draft, you got both of their key wide receivers, the running back, and the quarterback. Now they got a guy in Bryce Young who he looks pretty good in the spring, but when you look at the spring, it's all vanilla. There's no pressure on the quarterback in the spring. So the whole offense is pretty much going to be fresh guys that has not done anything productive, throughout this whole season. They had these big name guys that just got drafted. They even got a Heisman Trophy winner that just got drafted. So now these guys got to come in and prove themselves. I think they're going to make a lot of mistakes that first game against Miami. Now, if Miami could limit our mistakes, I think we could get them offensive-wise. Now, defensive-wise, when you look at Alabama, they're pretty stacked. They're probably going to have maybe top 5 defense in the country. So offense got to be clicking. We got to come out there and smack them in the mouth early. If we're going points for point, we got to. If they're scoring, we got to be scoring too. Because if we're going 3 and out and they're scoring, it's going to get ugly. But I do believe offensive-wise that's their issue. Defensive-wise, they will be prepared. Their defense this season, just past, was pretty. I don't have the word for it, but their defense this season, as you can see, Ole Miss, Florida, and all those teams, they hung with them. They put up points. They just outlast them on offense. So I think Miami could get them pretty early. If we play the first half, if we play basically knockout football, we might have a chance to win this game.
You wanna go, Hayes?
Nah, you got it, baby. When I talk, I'm gonna go in.
So this is the thing that I'm worried about, right? What's up, Hurricane Logan? So the thing I'm worried about is, so first of all, you talk about them having a new young quarterback in Bryce Young. Yes, I agree with you. But here's the thing: Bryce Young might be the most talented quarterback Nick Saban has ever had at quarterback. And when you look at a guy like Nick Saban, who is the king of football, who knows how to execute on every aspect of the game, and if he doesn't, he goes and gets somebody that knows how to does it. And when he admitted this past offseason that he is not more focused on the defense now, and he's putting his time on the offense because he knows that the offense is what changes the game, that scares me. And you know what else scares me is, yes, that all your receivers that you talked about that just got drafted, they just had the #1 recruiting class of the wide receiver position, and they just went out in the transfer portal and got a difference maker of James and Williams, who alone is better than almost anybody on our roster. So when you put him with a Ja'Cory Brooks, right, with a Christian Leary, with a Slade Bolden, a Mechie, those are super talented receivers. And then the thing that scares me the most is with a Manny Diaz type of defense, when we are at our best, you have to bring aggression and pressure from the defensive ends. And that is the biggest question mark that I'm going after into this football game, is we don't have a dominant pass rusher that can do that and cause havoc for a guy like Bryce Young to make those decisions that you're wanting him to make.
Say hello to the bad guy. Listen, I understand all of that. It's week 1, okay? It's week 1. I'm coming in all black for their funeral. It's week 1. I want them early. If it was week 3, 4, 5, I don't care who we played, I would not want them. Week 1 to me, just because of what they lost, I want them week 1. And Indo Games wants a Newport 1000 right now. Hurricane Logan.
That boy got Cadillac in him.
You want that Cadillac? But no, I'm serious. I want Coach Hayes to go. But if it wasn't a week 1 game, Brad, if it was not a week 1 game, I would be singing a different tune. But it's a week 1 game, and that's the only reason why I feel like if we can catch them, is because we can catch them slipping in week 1, because the greatest teams fumble, mishandle balls, all of those things on week 1. The most, if you look at the history, the most upsets are in week 1. So that's why I feel like we wouldn't be able to get them in week 3 or 4 once Nick Saban gets all that in there. But week 1, I feel like I don't say we have a 50-50 shot, but I feel like we have a way greater shot than in week 1 if we were playing them in week 4. So that's why I'm riding the whole team.
If you look at Alabama versus Miami, I mean, player-wise, grade-wise, they got us in every department. So to what Zoe is saying, if we're going to catch them, it's got to be week 1, where we got 91% of our team coming back with experience, with on-field experience. A lot of those guys, on Alabama's offense didn't get much play time or any experience, so they're coming out fresh. So if we could get them early, like I said, 91% of our guys are experienced. We got some experience on our line. We got some experience on the O-line, D-line, and, we got some experience at wide receivers, you name it. Their experience is their running backs, everything. So if we could offensively stick with them in the first half, I think we got a chance of winning this game.
I agree, guys. Let me go ahead and say this, man. One shot. Give me a shot at Hurricane 10K Logan right here. Man, he was actually on the chat with me, man, when we broke the 10K. So always salute to you, my brother, man.
Hurricane 10K Logan. Here we go.
10K Logan, man. And somebody else did put in the chat, so you popped it up there, Zoe, about the YouTube takeover thing for the game. Yeah, man, we're going to do it. We just kind of far out. But, yeah, that's something I definitely want to do, man, like I said. And so if I haven't already, I'll put it. I think I haven't talked to you about it, T2. Hey, man, I want to do this, man, the YouTube takeover where we talk about I probably can't do it the day of the game because they play at 3:30, but maybe that Friday, maybe even that Thursday, because a lot of people be traveling that Friday. But, man, just 8 hours, just get on the business, bro. Something we got to do. You know what I'm saying? Of just everybody getting an opportunity on their channel. Like we jump on yours, T2Y, for an hour. Then we go on Zoe for an hour. Then Brad and them get an hour. I get an hour. Paul Scoop get an hour. Olsen will get an hour. Miami Flow get an hour. And you know what I mean? Just take it over. Every time you cut it on, the algorithm saying, hey, the Hurricane's live right now.
I know that's going to be 2 hours off. That's going to be 2 hours off for me. I'm going to get a 2-hour break. I'm going to get a 2-hour break. I had to do it. I'm going to get a 2-hour break. Hey, I love it. We'll
break up the logistics of it, man. But anyway, let me get into this part, man. Here's how I look at it. The one thing about Alabama, a lot of people, they lose a lot, but they've done that every year. They lost a lot of things every year. These guys are stacked. I tell you, they have the same formula we had from the 01 season, 02 guy. They got guys in the stable. We just don't know about them because they had a dog before. Why is it every year it's a new running back that's a gangster? Every year it's going to be a new wide receiver that's a gangster. Every year. You know what I'm saying? And the quarterback, up until they got into the Jalen Hurts Tua era, the quarterback was just like the Hurricanes, a game manager, right? Most people can't name the Alabama unless you're a true Bama fan. You can't really name them. You can't even name the dog quarterbacks until you got to the Jalen Hurts, the Tua, and now these guys. Look at Mac Jones. It's his first year. He go to the Natty. First round draft pick. I'm just saying, let's not get that misunderstood now. Again, Zoe and everybody, I agree with you. Yeah, I'd rather have them week 1. You understand? But we'll dog him any day of the week now, but I would prefer him on week 1. You know what I'm saying? That's like if I was fighting Mike Tyson, I prefer he had 2 broken shoulders. I still gonna fight him, but I prefer he had
2 broken shoulders. At least one broken shoulder, and it got to be the right one.
I don't know. Dog.
I know he's just as powerful with his left. I'll tell you what,
I'm just saying.
A quick story. My wife's uncle was Ernie Shavers, and he boxing. Ernie Shavers, and he damn near decapitated Muhammad Ali. And Muhammad Ali said the hardest he ever had in his life, and that was with his offhand. So them boys, you're right.
Yeah, I'm saying, but I'd rather catch it from that guy. And let's remember this, y'all. I bet y'all don't even remember this. I had to pull this up because I didn't know who he was when I saw him come in the game in the Natty. Y'all know who Brian Robinson Jr. was?
Yeah.
And I didn't.
Number 4.
I didn't either. Number 4, he's 6'1", 228, a red shirt senior, a monster, and nobody know about him.
Yep.
But see, this is why
Najee, they had to sit on the bench. Remember, he actually kind of sat a little bit. They got dogs. We just don't know who the dogs are until it's their turn to come out the gate.
And their backup running back that is coming off an injury that's going to be playing and that's been sitting out is Trey Sanders, who everybody on our roster that is an incoming freshman or has played for 1 year, you ask any of them who's the hardest player they've ever played in, it's Trey Sanders.
Exactly.
I could agree with all of that. I'm saying I can agree with all of that. But it's week 1. That's my.
I totally agree. I think there's a big issue though. I think a lot of people are misunderstanding or they're losing a lot of guys. And that's going to make it easy. No, that's not going to make it easier. Now, what you're saying, what I think makes it easier is they still got the dogs. What makes it easier is now the dogs ain't been in a lot of fights, but that's not true also. Them dogs been in fights. They've been in them third and fourth quarters when it's been blown out. They've been in there.
But you know, it's a little different though when you, I don't know if you got brothers or not, but it's a little different when you know you can fight, right? In a regular fight, you know you can fight. But you fight harder when your brothers are there, like your brother, your big brothers are there. When your big brothers are gone, it's a little bit different. It's like it's just they didn't. I can say, like I said, they lost a couple of players. You know what I'm saying? They bring it back 60%, but they lost a lot of players on both sides of the ball. And like I say, even though those guys got playing time, prime example, that 2002 team that we should have beat Ohio State. That team right there, we brought back an ass of players. I mean, we didn't bring back ass of players. We lost an ass of players, but we had an ass of dogs. But in Ohio State, if you look at that Ohio State class compared to that class that we had, our class is way greater. But we lost to that team for some reason, and we lost them in that championship game. Don't get me wrong, but maybe it was because the pressure got on them. And they didn't have the Edgerrin James. I mean, the Ed Reeds and stuff to lean on, to talk to, and even though they were good enough, they didn't have those guys to lean on. You know what I'm saying?
I hope we win. You know, I hope we win. But at the end of the day, I think the question marks that we're holding to Alabama, those are things that they have executed every single year. Like Hayes said, where with us, the question marks that we're hoping gets answered is, again, going back to things we have not been able to do. We keep bringing up, we're playing Alabama first week. Well, go look at the track record the past 5-6 years. Our first week, if we're playing a big-time opponent, what happens?
We've lost, but they've been close, especially that Florida game. We should have beat Florida. We lost that game on field goals. Like, we should have won that game. Like, there ain't no way we should have won that Florida game.
I mean,
but if we had played them later in the year, they would have beat us bad.
You got to keep in mind too, half of those games that we lost in the first week, we never had 91% of the guys coming back.
I think, you know what? I think this is a perfect. I'm just gonna hurricane. Oh, my bad. I think this is a perfect setup. It's a perfect setup for Miami. It's a bad setup for Alabama, because this is gonna be Alabama's most sold out game of the year. Anytime Miami plays against a big-time opponent, the Notre Dame game is the #1 regular season rated game in the history of college football. Anytime Miami plays a big-time opponent, that game is huge. And even though Notre Dame was not Alabama, nobody thought we were going to beat Notre Dame that night, even though we were at home. The odds were we were not going to win that game. I think we were like 10-point underdogs. And we walked the dog on that team. And that's not Alabama, don't get me wrong, but for some reason, like I said, this year, like T2Y said, we got 91% of the players coming back. We're not talking about the new coaches that we added, including bringing back Jeff Simpson. We're not talking about the coach, and coaches make a big difference. We're not talking about last year in the second year of the system, able to open up the playbook more. I'm looking at our coaching staff almost more than our players, because, like I say, a 3-star in Miami is a 5-star anywhere else. I'm just being honest with you. So yeah, they got 5 stars, but we got dogs and 5. Remember I said we had 4 and 5-star players with 2-star coaches. Now we have 4 and 5-star coaches to coach these players, and I feel like that's going to make a huge difference. I feel like the mentorship is going to make a huge difference. Like I said, I got mentored by a younger guy and older guy. I got mentored by Brad. I got mentored by Coach Hayes this year. Dead serious, and it made a difference in me personally. I just feel like the mentorship and these guys being 91% of the class coming back with these coaches, I feel like if it was last year, no. If it was a year with Dan Enos, hell no. But this year, I'm not saying we win, but I feel like we have a really good shot at winning this game on Saturday. Good Hurricane Logan.
No, I mean, I think it's the best case scenario. Don't get me wrong. With who Bama's lost and us opening up against them, but I mean, it's the common talked about thing is that team don't rebuild; they just reload. And you just hear names of people starting the first game or first year, and they're all world. So I think a lot of it has to do with the way our players come out and like just their preparation and how their attitude is. I think attitude is going to be a good impact going into the game. But I don't know. I'm concerned about our O-line. Our O-line hasn't. I mean, I remember just like yesterday when they were getting bullied by FIU, like literally bullied, and now like we're talking about Alabama and Alabama's defensive line. So
Our O-line did take leaps and bounds last
I'm not
year.
trying to be negative, but
Yeah, I think at the end of all this, we need to look at the bigger picture and realize this Alabama game isn't everything. I think a lot of people are putting too much pressure into this Alabama game, where we got to realize this is just a measuring stick game. How far are we really with this new coaching staff that we have in play, with now a modern day offense that we're now starting to get adjusted to? We got a playmaker quarterback, preseason Heisman candidate. What could we make together with now having pretty much all the answers that were once question marks these past couple of years? Are we going to be able to put it together? And now we're in a situation where all the pressure is on our head coach. This is a make or break season for Manny Diaz. So at the end of the day, there aren't going to be anything holding back, because it's going to all go back to him. If we have a really bad season, if he doesn't go, some of these coaches that we're praising aren't going to be there. So that's what's going to hurt the most, I think. You need to be able to keep a Rhett Lashley, a T-Rob. And I think this game's going to be the measuring stick. But I think moving forward, I think this team is definitely suited to run the table all the way through. And I think that's going to have to be the goal. You need to win the ACC Coastal, and you need to be able to perform every single week. And I need to see, Jake Garcia and Van Dyke at least 3 or 4 games easily.
Listen, man, I feel like Garcia's gonna start the whole year. I'm gonna say this right here, and I'm about to break Hurricane CJ heart, and I'm about to break my own heart. I think my boy Perry, and I'm about to break Logan heart. I think my boy Perry moving on takes a distraction away from the locker room. I think it takes a distraction away from the team. I believe the team was divided last year as well. And the year before, I think it's all over YouTube. I think that takes a certain distraction away from the team as well, to where they can just truly focus and not hear those rumbles. I think with so many off-field things that went on as well, behind-the-scenes things that went on, I'm serious, man. I truly believe that I'm not saying we deep enough, but I think we have the talent to upset. Listen. If Texas A&M could upset Alabama with just Johnny Manziel by himself, and it was Johnny Manziel, that's it. It was Johnny Manziel and the Miracles. Okay, let's not forget that it was Johnny Manziel and the Miracles.
But it take some time. Like, listen, bro, I'm gonna just tell you this, man. One thing about this game, right, it's unforgiving. But I really do. Somebody said in the chat, I'm looking at it, and somebody said, which I think makes a lot of sense. This right here is going to be the chess match of coaches. I do think
I don't want to be a chess match,
but it has to be. It has to be because but it has to be. And the reason this is because here's the thing, right? When it comes to coaching, the offensive staff has been together now, right? They don't have any new faces on offensive staff, do they? No. So now when we went in there and bust their head against UAB, they didn't put a blah 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 blah, right? Well, now they should have a continuity. Everybody comes back. Nobody who left on the offensive side. Nobody.
No, the whole offensive line came back.
Offensive line came back. Receivers came back. Running backs came
back. The only person gone is Brevin Jordan.
Yep.
And Brevin Jordan, and maybe King may be questionable at that time. I don't know. Y'all got the crystal ball when it comes to all that stuff. I don't know. I'm just saying, at the end of the day, you're going to have now a full practice. You've had a full spring. You have all these things. So now this is where the chess match of the coaches come involved. And now their disadvantage is they're bringing in a Bill O'Brien. This is first year, right? Even though this is a new, quote unquote, new defensive staff, it's still the same defense.
We don't have, we brought back Jeff Simpson. And that's a huge.
No, I know, but I'm saying, but they're still running. Listen, y'all can say what y'all want to say. Manny Diaz is not changing his entire defense because he's teaching those guys what he wants them to know. Now, they may be able to add their wrinkle to whatever it is, but schematically, it's going to be the same. Now, what I'm talking about so far is the style of defense. Now, those guys may have the opportunity to say, hey, coach, I would like to implement this within the scheme. Yeah, that may happen. But that's where we have the leg up from the coaching side, right? The thing is, we have to take advantage of the chess match. We can't beat ourselves, especially when it comes to turnovers and penalties. Those are the two big things. So I said special team turnover, fumbles, and penalties. We cannot win a ball game. Most teams can't win a ball game if they suffer from those two things. That kills all things, man. That changes field position. These field goal kickers are better now. I mean, it used to be in my day, boy, you kicked the dog on 35-yarder, you were the man. These jokers cranking off 50s like it ain't nothing. Like a 50-yarder is like nothing now. You know what I'm saying? So
hey, I got to do this. I got to do this for my big brother, my big little brother, all about U83. Hey, turn right thing down. Hey, I told you it's a new channel this year, all about U83. So this how we feel. This how we doing it now. You know what I'm saying? If I can get it, well, maybe I can't get it. Come on, though. Yeah, this hands more order, man. We gonna whoop that ass. We gonna whoop Alabama ass. I'm just telling you. Let's get hype for this, man. We gonna whoop that ass. I'm even have Brad saying before the game, we gonna beat that ass. All right. We gonna say hello to the bad guys. Say hello to the bad guys. Okay. Hands more order. All right, we're gonna beat that. Hey, Johnny Manziel and the Miracles.
I don't even know what's going on.
No, I'm just saying, like, listen.
I agree. I think we should win this game, bro. Like,
thank you.
Yeah. No, we can't go in there saying, well, if we come in great second, it's a great. Like,
Yeah. We got to come in thinking we're gonna win.
We gotta will it, right? We gotta will it. Like that's like even as a coach, and we going in there saying, "All right, guys, it's gonna be a tough one," and I just want to win one for the Gipper. Yeah, man, you could cancel that. I wouldn't even play for a coach like that. I'm just saying, and we have to because we do have the talent. We're not walking in there like we because think about it. Let's go back to the FIU and us. What do you think the conversation was? I'm just saying, but what do you think the conversation in that locker room was? Hey guys, let's just go in there and have a good fight. You think Butch was in there talking about let's just see if we can measure up to him and let's just see if we can last and keep it close? No, that wasn't the conversation. The conversation is, dog, they put on their pants like we put on our pants, and we finna give it to them. And all you need is a little bit of hope, dog. Faith of a mustard seed, as they say. And bro,
I talked to everybody I talked to everybody today almost about wearing all black, and we was able to coordinate that. And we are old people, so I mean these guys have had time.
I had this on, dog. I didn't even forgot about it. I just haven't had this on.
Hey, I feel like this is. I don't know why I'm so positive this year. Maybe it's because of all the positivity that I went through some negative shit. Maybe it's all the positivity I received though. So I'm not going into this game. Like I said, CJ, our guy is gone, but it's no longer that distraction. That distraction is no longer there. As much as I love Perry, I wanted him to be the quarterback. That distraction isn't in the locker room. It's not going to be on YouTube. And a lot of those guys, and you talk to them, Brad. A lot of those guys watch these channels. A lot of those guys see them, and they watch. And who's to say they might not listen to us and be like, man. Yeah, we have the confidence in the win, and that can push them over the top. I don't know what goes on these kids' minds. The only thing I know is I'm looking at. I love Jeff Simpson coming back. To me, that was freaking huge. Love him coming back. I don't care why he had me when he coached that defensive line. That defensive line, everybody was a dog. Even the dogs that wasn't dogs played like dogs. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I've been saying too, though. It's like. If you ask the kids now that's in that locker room, they want to play Bama. You know who don't want to play Bama? The fans. It's the fans. Those kids are up for that challenge. It's the fan base that don't want to play Alabama. Plain and simple.
and I don't want to keep it close. I don't feel like I'm not saying I won't take a moral victory, but I'm not talking about moral victories. I want to win that game. I will be there on the 50-yard line. I don't want to. I want to win that game because you just think about it. The most and Colin Cowherd said this himself. As great as Alabama is, great as they are, Miami makes college football. Miami makes college football. Like, if Miami win this game, the whole world's explode because Miami's back already. Even if we not back, we back. They want to see us back. Like, we the only YouTubers that got 800 YouTube channels. Everybody, Georgia got 1 or 2, Tennessee got 1 or 2, and the rest of them ain't got. Florida State got my boy over there. The rest of them ain't got none. We got 850 YouTubers. But it's a reason for that. It's because of the passion of the University of Miami Hurricane fan base. We bleed. Everybody, whether we disagree or agree, we bleed. No matter what your national background is, no matter how you feel about politics or whatever, we all truly bleed. If you're a Hurricane fan, you truly bleed this shit. Truly. So it's no way I'm gonna go into that game week 1, man. What they put together, because we asked for everything we got. We asked for better offensive coordinator. We got it. We asked for Manny Diaz to start calling plays again. We got it. We got Jeff Simpson back. We got it. Got the linebacker coach. Everything we asked for, we got. We even got Jake Garcia, which everybody wanted. Everybody wanted. So since they gave us everything that we wanted, since the AD gave us everything that we wanted, since El Chapo, Julio Frank put the money out there and said, we gonna get this. Y'all see, people don't remember the letter that Julio Frank sent to the NCAA. See, I remember the letter he sent to the NCAA. That letter he sent to them when he cursed them out about the sanctions. I mean, he cursed them out in the letter. They read the letter. So I remember, like, and to me, I feel like he's a true leader. He loves football. He loves the University of Miami. They gave us everything we want. I have to give them confidence that we can beat that we can beat Alabama.
And you can look at it from a professional standpoint too. Miami versus Alabama. Miami got 91% of guys coming back. Most of those guys are going into senior season and stuff like that. Eligibility, last chance, basically. So when you got a lot of scouts watching this game, a lot of these guys going to put on, because it could be their biggest shot to be evaluated, whether or not a team could say, hey, you know what, we didn't have this guy so far up, whatever. He probably was on the back burner, but look how he performed against a national championship team like Alabama. He stood his ground. He did way better than that. And that could be something that, cost this kid to get drafted. So we got to look.
My bad. CJ, we need to hear from you because, you stay in the background. You know what I'm saying? What you thinking, CJ? First off, I'm going to do this right now. I know we're going to send our condolences out to you, man. Love you, little bro. You've been through a lot, and you stood strong. You stood strong as a man. First off, you stood 10 toes down as a man. I had all the respect for you in the world before then, but it's 10 times now. Love you. I'm glad you're pulling through this, man, and glad to have you on the show tonight, man.
I appreciate you having me on here. Y'all can hear me?
Oh, yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay. I know you're talking about Perry, but it's all right. He'll do his thing at FAU. He graduated from Miami. That's the main thing that's important. As far as I just want to ask y'all a question. Between Garcia and Van Dyke, because I'm not even gonna mention King right now. Who has the better mechanics as far as passing?
Garcia. When I rewatched that spring game, bro, I watched it. Listen, and I was the one that's not sold on him. Brad, you remember, when you told what I said? And I don't want to hear that shit. It's high school. I was the one not sold on him at all. When I watched that spring game and the way he just moved, and Brad was all giggly because he proved me wrong. He was all giggly and shit and talking shit. But I was like, I don't think he's that good. Y'all hyping him up. And I watched this joke in that spring game, and I was like, shit.
He's just a gamer, man. Like, to be honest with you, there's just times where when you look at certain quarterbacks' games where mechanics is out the window. Like there's just certain type of guys where they just take over a football game, where they just have that Mamba mentality, right? We talked about Kobe Bryant getting into the Hall of Fame tonight, RIP to the GOAT.
Manziel and the Miracles.
But yeah, I mean, Johnny Manziel, he didn't have any of the measurables, mechanics like that, And you look at someone like Jake Garcia, man, I think the one thing that we wanted a year and a half to 2 years ago before we got Derek King was someone that came into this quarterback room and wanted to be the quarterback for the University of Miami, that brought that leadership mentality. And that's something that Jake Garcia carries as a 17, 18-year-old kid, because he is going to be someone that has gone through 3 different high schools, bounced around programs, did not make no excuses for himself, and still won a state title, with a team out in Georgia. And now he's coming into this program with no excuses again, had a boot on his foot for, pretty much half of the spring. And he comes in and he's already doing a lot of big things. And if you really see, on the spring game, I know it's only the spring game, but it seemed like when Tyler Van Dyke was in the game, it was very consistent on just moving the sticks, right? You knew what you were getting out of Tyler Van Dyke. You were going to get a nice 7 yards, a good 10 yards. You were going to get the first down. It was going to come in 2 to 3 passes at a time. With Jake Garcia, what you saw was his arm and what he was able to do, mobility in the pocket. It allowed him to create big plays, big opportunities that I think when you look at a Rhett Lashley type of offense going back to SMU, those are the ways that he was able to put up 40-plus points in a football game, is when you're able to make opportunities down the football field. And I think Jake Garcia gives you the best opportunity. Now, I mean, he's only a freshman, so I don't think he gets it early, unfortunately. But I think when you look at long-term ability, the next 2 to 3 years, I think we're in really good hands. And it's just going to be all up to the receivers to make sure they catch it.
Now, I must say this. If King's not ready for game 1, and from what we've seen from Tyler Van Dyke and Garcia, I do believe that given Manny's history with senioritism, he's going to put he's going to put Tyler Van Dyke out there first. And if he don't pin out, then you'll see Garcia come in. That's my take.
I don't think he will. I think if he do that, Rhett Lashley's going. If he don't let Rhett Lashley choose his quarterback, Rhett Lashley might walk off the field that day. I think I mean, it was a big off season. I'm pretty sure Brad heard about it. Like, Rhett was ready to go. He don't want nobody running his offense but him. That's why Manny, where he need to be at, he's in total control of the defense. I don't think he'll have time to worry about offense, which he doesn't need that. I think the great thing about Nick Saban was even though he was in the offense coordinator ear, he didn't choose the players. I don't think Manny can, if he does that, listen, Manny job on the line this year, bro. That's not thinking that he ain't on the hot seat. No, he's on the hot seat.
I think so, guys.
If he makes
so I know this is your show, and I'm sorry, dog.
No, that's what I mean. I'm let you get in. This is what I mean by Coach. I'm not saying he's gonna get fired. This is what I mean by Coach. I'm not saying he's gonna get fired. What I mean by hot seat is, I think that if he makes some bad decisions and override some coaches, he's going to be in some trouble. I'm not saying get fired. He's going to be in some trouble. They tried to kill him last year. Can't afford to fire him, though.
I think the football program is more on the hot seat than him.
Yeah, so here's my thing. Let me go back to this piece because y'all were talking, because I do want to talk about that. A lot of people talking about this is the make and break year for Manny Diaz.
I don't think make a break year.
Yeah, but let me go back to this. I'm gonna ask a question, pose a question rather. How do you manage this? All of you guys, I'm gonna put everybody in the GM seat, or let's just say the head coach or player development seat. Derek King is out. Well, first of all, let me lay this out. We know players get 4 games to play before they lose their red shirt. That's a new rule, I think, the past 2 or 3 years. King is out the first game. You have to make a decision between Van Dyke or Garcia. But King comes back. Do you red shirt Garcia? Or do you play him? That's my question. CJ, go ahead. You wagging your finger, go for it. I'm only asking that because I want to see I want to say something, but I want to see what you guys got to say first.
If Garcia is doing a great job, he's winning games, I'm not pulling him. I'm just gonna let it run.
Okay. So when King comes back, So you saying if King comes back, let's say he's out for Alabama, he's not medically cleared, but then he comes back week 2, 3, whatever, Michigan State, App State, or whatever. You still let Garcia run?
If
No.
Garcia,
Let Garcia play. Yeah.
yeah, if Garcia helps us win that game against Alabama, yeah, he's staying in there. There's no question about it. That's not even a question.
And he said it the right way. If Garcia is a factor in why we win that game, I'll put it away. If Manny pulled Garcia,
That's tough.
Yeah.
it's really not because you listen.
No, I'm saying
All
those
right.
are the decisions that you hate to make as a coach, knowing the kind of kid King is, knowing what he's been through, the adversity he's faced. The same.
I love you, King. I love you, King.
Well,
I know,
Good job,
but
Hey,
those are
when you listen to the open press conference that these coaches have been talking about, no player lose their spot due to injury. That's what they said. So when Garcia do great, when King come back, Manny's gonna start him.
Tell Drew Bledsoe that.
That's what Manny Diaz is saying. That's come out of Manny Diaz's mouth. Players don't lose their spot due to injury. So I do believe when King come back, he's gonna give King that spot.
No, he's not.
But that's back to my point. So think about this: if you're managing your roster, just talking about managing your roster. Let's say Garcia he beats Alabama. King comes back App State game. That's what, week 3.
Week 2.
He comes back.
We got Michigan State too. We got Michigan State.
Michigan State.
We got Alabama, then we got App State, then Michigan State, then some Connecticut team or whatever.
Connecticut State. All right, but let's just say we go to Michigan State week 3. King comes back. Okay. Because remember, players got 4 games to play without putting their red shirt in jeopardy. I'm saying. So he comes in, he beats the Alabama. This one, I'm just talking about how we managed our roster and get the most out of it. This is what I'm saying. Because we're basically saying Van Dyke would be a backup. Basically, is what we're saying. Would I agree with that? Is that the consensus?
I agree with it.
Brad, the consensus, man. So my thing is, do you not bench? Do you red shirt Garcia and let TVD be the backup for King, in essence, or do you burn his red shirt? Right. Let's say, for example, he plays those first 4 games. King comes back. Now once he plays his 5th, it's burned. Because here's what you have to realize.
How many players play more than 3 years?
No, a bunch of them need to. But what I'm saying is, how do we get the most out of the play? I'm only asking.
I think
the biggest question is how far apart does Jay Garcia set himself away from Van Dyke? Is what you do with that situation, because if you see that Garcia is progressing a lot quicker than expected and he's already, from an eye standpoint, better than a Van Dyke who's already been in the system for a year, already been, improving that you thought, but you got a young guy in Garcia that's already taken over. At that point, you should know that after this season, Garcia is your guy and Van Dyke is out. So I think that kind of gets the red shirt thing out the mind, and it's like, all right, we need to win now. Garcia's our guy, and he's probably only gonna be here for 3 years anyway. So let's run with it.
Kane Insider in the motherfucking building. What's going on, Kane Insider? What's going on?
What's up?
Yeah, I just wanted to put it because a lot of people don't think of it when you do roster management, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay,
I did miss a donation. I missed a couple of donations. I'm sorry, but this panel, I got to let these guys go. I did miss. I'll go back and get them.
Yeah, but like I said, it's hard, man, because sometimes you're trying to manage. Is this guy going to bud in those 3 years where he can get out, right? Does he need that 4th year? Does he not? Okay, if we start him, now TVD hits the portal. What do we got coming in? Are we bringing in the young guy we just got out of Georgia? You know what I'm saying? So it's that's that juggling. That's the reason I just asked it, because a lot of times people don't think about the future. You got to be proactive in this game when it comes to roster management, man. So I did it for fun. That's all.
No, it's not just fun. It's definitely it's 100% legit. Like, how do you manage these, especially players that have talent? But this is why quarterbacks transfer all the time. Because quarterbacks do lose their job because of injury. That's why so many quarterbacks transfer or in the transfer portal now, because they've lost their job due to injury or due to a younger quarterback just outperforming them. And like this is my honest opinion. I could be 100% wrong. I believe that Lashley's offense needs a guy who can stretch the field. Like and that's something that King can't do. He's proven it. People get mad at me. You a King hater? No, I'm a King realist. He can't sit in the pocket because he's Kevin Hart height, and he and he can't stretch the field. I'm just being honest.
He keeps the defense honest, and unfortunately, if you're playing a defense where most of the defense is nothing but athletes and have the speed and the coverage to where even if you get them slipping for a second, they have the ability to catch off from that slip and still execute on a play, which a team like Alabama obviously does. But the crazy thing is like we're talking about what if D'Eriq King is not ready for Alabama. But how crazy is this that we're in this situation where we almost feel more comfortable in one of our backup quarterbacks if our starting quarterback is not healthy. But then when you look at the running back position, right? RBU, Miami, we talk about all these running backs that we have on our roster. Well, now we know Chaney is possibly not going to be ready for Alabama, right? What if someone like Cam Harris or Jalen Knighton, becomes injured, and now you're going into this Alabama game with only one running back that has had any college experience?
That hurts. Can I say this? All right, remember we were so down on the running game almost all season long, right? And but people weren't remembering how the safeties and the linebackers were cheating up in the box. I'm bringing Perry up because this is a legit argument. To be honest with you, that Oklahoma State game, they sat in the box. We went down with 21-0, and they sat in the box. When Perry stretched the field, Cam Harris went deep up off because they had to back out of the box. They couldn't just sit in the box. So when you have a dual threat quarterback who's mostly a running quarterback, now your safeties and linebackers, they're going to cheat up. That leaves no running lanes for the running backs. It leaves none. It leaves no. If I'm a coach, I'm like, man, you got to show me you can beat me with your arm, and you haven't showed me that except for maybe one game this year. And Oklahoma State, they was bodying us. Like we couldn't do nothing. When that ball started stretching the field, going deep downfield, and even though there was some drops, Oklahoma. We talk about how much the offense changed. Oklahoma defense changed. They started backing up, and it opened up the running game. Garcia can throw the ball deep and accurate. And like I say, it's not a thing on King, but he just can't. It's like trying to make the Kemba Mutombo a 3-point shooter. You can't.
I'm gonna be real with you, but I mean, man, hey, if D'Eriq King is healthy like we all expect him to go, he's gonna be the reason why we beat Alabama at the end of the day. He is the difference. He's the difference maker of the football. He's the difference maker of the football team. He's in the key position that pretty much wins you football games nowadays. And like we mentioned before, he's a dual threat quarterback. And there are times where Alabama's defense gets fits with dual threat quarterbacks. And
is he a dual threat quarterback though? Because he that's what I'm saying. Because he can't throw from the pocket and he rolls right all the time. I'm just being real. He can't throw from the pocket. He gets a lot of batted balls. Let's be honest. Go back. He gets a lot of batted balls. He can't throw in the pocket, and he rolls to the right a lot. He to me, he's almost a better. He's a better version. He's a way better leader. But he's a better version than Tate Martell. And that height to me really means something. It does.
Too. Any team that King play against, they gotta.
That's what I say. Listen, I'm not filtered. Listen, I'm gonna let you have it. Think about this here. The year before last, right? Everybody say King was the number one improvement on his football team, right? Which is false. I proved it. The kicker was the number one improvement because those same kicks that we missed the year when Dan Eels was there, if he would have kicked those kicks, if he would have hit those kicks, Dan Eels would still be the offensive coordinator.
I had to give you credit on that one. That's a fact. I'll give you a fact. So far as the most consistent, yeah, I'll give you a fact. I'll give you I'm saying the kicker was the most consistent. If you got it pretty much to the 40, it was good. So you were walking out with 3 points for more or less. So I had to take my hat off to you on that one. So for he was the most consistent player we had. Like when he went up there, we weren't like, "Oh Lord, please make it, Lord, please make it." So I have to say that. Yeah, you're right. It's funny though.
I'm gonna add this too.
It's interesting though. Oh my God, go ahead.
Now, when you look at De'Aaron King, if he's healthy and ready to go for Alabama, if I was Manny Diaz and that coaching staff, I would keep that under wraps, because what you got with Alabama, they're gonna scheme to stop King. They're gonna have to, because if he can't beat you with his arm, he's gonna beat you with his leg. So for them to, have King, if King is not going to be ready for that game, at least put it in Alabama mind that he is. So they can spend all that time trying to, set up their defense to stop him and then roll out with Tyler Van Dyke or Garcia.
Yeah, that's the only problem I have with King, right? Which is, I've always said this. I think he throws better balls between the tackles when he's downfield, right up the gut between the hashes. I think those are his best balls. I think those 45-degree angle balls, the hitches, even the slants, those are bad down balls, because when he releases it, it doesn't have a height on it, right? That's just one. From a leg standpoint, this is the only thing that I noticed about him. When he's in the pocket, he is elusive. He can make people miss a little bit, but he is a little light. Once they get him, he's got, right? So once they get a hand on him, he's done. He's not like how you would see a Johnny Manziel. He can pull up out of that. You see him pull his leg up out of that. So I don't know if that's a strength deal. I don't know if it's a balance deal, like when you talk about the elusiveness of King. And then second, I don't know if King has the top end speed. Once the field opens up, as he drops back and the field opens up, everybody goes to their areas, play their man or whatever. Can he take that thing 60? Now, we've seen him run the one up the sideline. He got to make that dude miss. I forgot what game it was, but he was up the sideline. He had angle. But that's the only piece I'm saying now. That's where your back gets broken. He can continue to move the sticks. He can move the chains. He can get you a first down. But does he, like I think you were saying, Brad, earlier, is he the X factor when it comes to the Cane? The equivalent to how Johnny Manziel was the X factor to Texas? That's the question. I think he is a factor for the Canes, but I don't know if he's the X factor for the Canes.
And unfortunately, right now it seems like, our top end, what we expected De'Aaron King to be, was again like what a Johnny Manziel or like a Russell Wilson type of guy. But it seems like his top is like a Jalen Hurts, and what we're getting so far, it almost, the quarterback that gives me the vibes of De'Aaron King, and he actually gave a lot of big teams fits, and he actually played in our same conference, and that's the quarterback from Syracuse, Dungy. I don't know if you remember him, but Dungy is someone kind of similar to De'Aaron King's game, in my opinion, as far as the throwing ability. I actually think Dungy's actually better on the ground than De'Aaron King. I think he's actually better runner. So actually gave defenses more fits. But I think at the end of the day, De'Aaron King's going to have to make the throws downfield a little bit more accurate. I think his downfall this past year was, you could see his first 4 games of the season, he was still getting acclimated to the type of offense we were trying to run, the RPO game specifically. He was not timing it right. He wasn't making the right reads at times. And you saw later, throughout the year, that started to get a lot more comfortable. So hopefully that's something that's not a hiccup this year.
It did a little bit, but I gotta. This is my new name for Brad. I try to call everybody name. $1 billion Brad. $1 billion Brad. I gotta call him $1 billion Brad. He be on the money. He be on the money so much. So that's my new name for you, $1 billion Brad. It is what it is. Ain't nobody gonna make me change my damn name. $1 billion Brad. Question: how many times did you see De'Aaron King throw a receiver open?
Last season, I would say probably 45 to 60% of the time. How many times did I see the receiver catch it? I would say probably 30% of the time.
Now, I seen maybe 75% of jump balls. I seen a lot of jump balls. What I mean by throw receiver open is like I said, I'm gonna keep going back to that Oklahoma State game.
Yeah.
Like I'm just being honest with you. Like when Perry was throwing that ball, he was throwing it back shoulders. He was throwing it to where the DBs could. It was no jump ball, and they were so surprised that they had 150 drops because they was not used to getting that ball. What I mean is, I don't see him throw receivers like from Clemson, Dark the Sith Lord. He like the best back shoulder throw I've seen in my life.
I think some of the times is you just got to put the right wide receivers in to give you the best opportunity.
You gotta say the white wide receiver.
the right wide receiver. Yeah, those are tempers. So you need to put those in order to help with that downfall, right? Like you got to look at it. Last year, these drops that I'm talking about, you see in the spring game, the same people are making those same drops wide open, and it's with a different quarterback, not with De'Aaron King. And yet when they're open, 8 drop the pass right in the breadbasket, 6 drop the pass, But when you see these other guys that we've been wanting for opportunity to play, Xavier Restrepo, did he drop a pass? He was balling.
It's a white wide receiver.
Keyshawn Smith, did he
white
drop
wide
a pass?
White wide receiver on drop ball.
Keyshawn Smith, did he drop a pass? No, he was balling.
Real.
Mike Harley.
Wes Welker ain't got a pass in his whole life.
Charleston Rambo didn't. I mean, Charleston Rambo got the ball 4 times in a row, and caught every single one of them and moved the sticks by himself. So I mean, when now you have the ability to have wide receivers that could change the game for you, you need to make sure that those guys get the ball. So like, what I liked was that we saw that early on in the spring game. I know it's really small, but we at least saw that we have the ability to where when we realize we have an impact player, going back to, the NCAA video games where you got the star under like the best player on your offense.
Always cheated.
We kind of saw a little glimpse of that in the spring game with Charleston Rambo in that one little series. We saw that he was getting hot and we threw him the ball 4 times in a row and he caught it every single time, right? We were getting him going. And I think when you have those type of guys on your team, you have to be able to get those guys hot early and show that, hey, we're going to get you involved. Because I think that's something that's hurt Miami in a lot of years going in. I mean, look at a guy like Jeff Thomas. What if Jeff Thomas was in this type of scheme and we were someone that, got him involved early in the football game? This whole Dan Enos where he was like, oh, he's getting at least 7 to 9 touches every game. He was averaging 1 to 2 at most. I think he had 3 touches. Come on, man. Like that's stuff that can't happen.
And Malik Rozier damn near killed his career. In the next game, he killed. It was over with. Like that's putting bad guys in bad situations. Hey, Coach, I got a question for you. Since like one of the greatest high school coaches of all time, just be honest. Just be honest. Your record speaks for itself. Go. Listen, if I'm talking, go pull his record and then talk to me. How do you feel about like being out Brad just said, like the offense changing and the route tree changing? How much does that affect the confidence in the receivers catching the ball, or do you think it affect that at all?
No, I'm gonna tell you just like I told the young man Lawrence Seymour. Bro, every one of them dudes ran a slant before. Every one of them dudes ran a 9 route. Every one of them ran a corner route. Everybody's run the 8. Everybody's run the spot route. I mean,
what about the quarterback changing? Being comfortable.
Now, that is a difference, right? Because of the rhythm, the speed of the ball, the rotation. That does feel a little different now. I have to say that. But at the end of the day, if the ball is there, you got to catch it, right? Now, there are some times where there was a study done. I remember way back with Dan Marino talking about how many rotations you get every 10 yards or something like that. I think it was like 17. You know what I mean? If you get 17 rotations every 10 yards, the ball is spinning that fast. But anyway, that's a whole nother issue. There's a different feel, just like when you get a left-handed quarterback versus a right-handed. The rotation of the ball is different. You know what I mean? The rotation spins backwards versus the other way. I mean, those are subconscious things, but, when you catch a ball, it does spin in your hand just a little bit, and then now it's spinning the other way, or the way this guy throws a slant versus the way another guy throws a slant. Yes, I get all that, but at the end of the day, you say you want to go to the league, you say you want to be one of the best, you got to catch the ball, dog. You know, there are receivers that go to different teams all the time, and you still got to catch the ball at the end of the day. Yeah, just whatever.
I mean,
man.
what's the young guy, the guy that we got Oklahoma State with Oklahoma? He's catching everything.
Rambo.
Yeah, Rambo. He's catching everything. So I mean, like I said, it's a catch one. It's just
down to. I just think this is what I think it comes down to. Since you asked me, is that kind of going back to the Alabama thing. We can't make the game hard for the players. Let the players play and let the players make the plays. Don't try to be this guru, right? And I came up with all this blah 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 blah. Keep it simple. Let a player make a play, right? Back to the old. I remember hearing. I know you don't want to hear this T2Y, but I was listening to Bobby Bowden talk about Peter Ward one day.
I love Bobby Bowden.
Yeah, I like Bobby Bowden. Have you seen his?
Yeah, but I'm just saying. No, I ain't see it. He got a cane shirt on.
He throwing up at you.
What? I love it. He should have came. But anyway, he was talking about Peter Ward. He was talking about not making the game hard. Put the ball in his hand and let him do what he does. Put it in his hand. Now, if you looked at Peter Ward, because he wasn't super fast, but he was elusive, all his balls were right now balls. You very rarely, you go look at Peter Ward highlight, you very rarely see him on a 9 route. Very rare. If it is, it's an out and up, a wheel route. He had to work his way to get up the field. Most of his stuff is right here. Give it to me now. Dig, drag, let me work. And
you know what was a receiver like that too? The guy they played against in that championship, Peerless Price. They was like clones of each other.
Peerless Price not get down there. You said Tennessee?
Yeah, but he can get down the field. But I mean, he ran a lot of short routes and feisty and get open. And
because he was so fast. That was the deal. The difference was he was short, but a lot of his routes were on the move. So he ran a lot of drags and stuff where he caught it on the run. Peter Ward had the stop and go button on him. So he could catch a hitch, turn, make you miss, get what he had to do, make you miss, and get down the field. And so I'm saying all that to say this. Get the ball out your hand, take the pressure off the quarterback. Let the playmakers make plays. That's all I'm trying to say. You know, if you throw a 4-yard pass and they go for 80 yards, the quarterback got 80 yards passing. He don't have to throw 80 yards for you to get 80 yards passing. You see where I'm coming from?
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Ain't on strong 2-4 said Peter Ward had a mean dead leg. Yes, sir. And he had great vision. He could see you coming. Like the guy that's in front of him, he already broke him down. He was like a game of pool. He working on the dude behind you. He was tough, boy. He was tough. He was before his time. If Peter Ward came out in the league today and went to the doggone New England and all that stuff, man, that dude be playing forever, man. Multi-millionaire. He just came out in the run and shoot era. Just came out in the wrong time.
It's CJ, I got a question.
That didn't help either.
I got a question for you, CJ. What are you looking at for the quarterback position? Seriously, like who do you think? If you just from spring alone, because we only can go off of spring alone. Just from spring alone, like what are you looking at, and what did you like, and who would you go with? Just we only can go from that game. We still got a whole summer, fall, so we still got a whole summer to go. But looking at the two quarterbacks that played because King didn't play, who would you go with from just that game?
Oh, for you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
There's something going on my phone. I'm at the e-bike come out. I don't know what's going
on. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I'll ask T2Y that one, and then it'll go to $1 billion Brats. T2Y, can you hear me? T2Y, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, I'm gonna ask you that same question, then go to Brad.
Repeat the question. I have my
just from that spring game, who would you go with? Just from that spring game.
And Garcia, I've been making that plain and simple. I'm public with that. I like Garcia over Tyler Van Dyke. Tyler Van Dyke looked a little bit stiff to me.
I don't even need to ask $1 billion Brad. $1 billion Brad will never let me.
It's like what Brad said. Tyler Van Dyke is a is a chain mover. Garcia is always looking down the field. He's looking for the big plays. He's looking for the wide open guy downfield. He's willing to throw that ball, and he's accurate too. So I'm rolling with Garcia. A lot of the issues that we had with King was he couldn't make them deep plays. He couldn't make them in the beginning of the season, and it did get better throughout the season. But in the beginning of the season, we saw that King was a little bit off with the deep ball. Garcia comes in, and he's on point already. And this is a guy that hasn't even, went through all the practice. He was limited in practice. So for him to come into the spring game and to perform the way like he's been doing it nonstop, it's crazy to me. If we had to compare him and Tyler Van Dyke, I'm going with him all day.
All right, I'm gonna give Bianella Brad the floor on this one right here because I gotta eat crow. So you do what you do. I'm gonna sit here and take it. I ain't gonna say nothing. He told me because he told me from day one. Long ago, you don't know what the hell you talking about, man. I'm like, what?
No, man. I mean, it's just at the end of the day, he has tools that he brings to the table as a quarterback that I don't think you can teach, right? I think when you look at the things that Jake Garcia has already done in a Hurricane uniform, yeah, there's things that he still has issues with, right? But I think the issues that Jake Garcia has is only going to get better with time being under the college, football light. And he has always been under the spotlight. He has always, came out on top when the pressure was on him. And I think that's just things that 2 years in with a guy like Tyler Van Dyke, you're still wondering if he can do that, right? You're seeing progression, right? And I think that's something that the team and the staff is really praising him for, is because they saw, the strides that he made from, a young, freshman that was very quiet, didn't really talk to anybody, didn't really speak loud, didn't take command of the huddle. But now he's starting to he's got a little bit of bark in him, right? Well, with Jake Garcia, he's already got the bark. His thing is he's just coming in as a freshman, so he's making sure he doesn't bark too loud right now. But there's gonna be a time where it's gonna click, and everybody around him's gonna see it click to where he's gonna be able to bark. And when that bark comes out, I'm telling you right now, Jake Garcia has that it factor, where he could change a football game by himself, and that's what you need at a quarterback.
Yeah, and if you look at Garcia, oh, sorry, Coach. Now, if you look at Garcia too, look at Ja'Cory Brown. I'm sorry, who's coming in. He's more of a Garcia type. So you could tell the way that Miami is leaning when it comes to quarterbacks. They're going for that dual threat guy that can make those throws. What we see Garcia is doing, they're not going after the pro style guys like Tyler Van Dyke. If we're going to be, I'm being totally honest about that. You can see the way the program is going when it comes to quarterback. And that's the kind of quarterbacks that Reed Lashley is going after. Mobile guys that can make accurate throws.
Now, you're right, man. But I'm going to say this, too, about quarterbacks. And I think you saying a piece to it, Brad. And that's what I was telling Seymour. Basically, what I was trying to tell him in code, without telling him was, bro, be that dog. Don't wait your turn to be that dog. Be the dog, right? Because I'm going to give my guilty pleasure, guys. I like to watch, the little guy Caesar that does the dog. He's the dog whisperer, and he talks about the pack. You know what I'm talking about, Brad? I see you smiling at me. Don't laugh at me.
I know what you're talking
about. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Y'all don't laugh at me. That's my Sunday. That's my Saturday afternoons, man. But listen, he talk about the pack mentality, and everybody's trying to see who that alpha dog is. And if you're not an alpha dog, one thing about it is the pack is not going to pay attention to a fake alpha dog. Does that make sense? I can't go in here and be rah, 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 and then it's not for real. People know when you really talking, when you just, like when we say barking. And so if that is you, then that must be you. Don't muzzle yourself because of that. That's what, and I was trying to tell him that. That's how we do it, bro. I'm gonna be that alpha dude. I'm taking all the reps I can, whatever. And the reason I say that, on the football team, everybody is looking for a leader, believe it or not. On the team, not the coaches, but on the team, right? everybody's looking for that one guy, and that one guy usually is the quarterback, right?
You need a pit bull. Basically, you need a pit bull, not a Georgia Bulldog.
Yeah, you don't need no Georgia. We don't need no munch. We don't need no bulldogs, man. We don't need no munch.
You're 100% right. Like, but that's what I'm saying. It's usually the quarterback, right? So you look at a Tom Brady in the eyes, in the public or on the field, he seemed kind of cool, calm, collected, right? But you know he got that grind in him. You know he got that in him, especially when my man in the Super Bowl tried him. He went after him, right? Mm-hmm. That I guarantee he does the same thing in practice when people get nutted up. Now, he won't do it more or less in a game because it's the public eye. Those guys understand that. But I guarantee in practice, he be on everybody behind. I guarantee that. I guarantee that the Peyton Manning the same way. He play all out, but you see how he be going off on the sideline. You know what I'm saying? And so that is another thing I think D'Eriq King is missing, but he can't be who he's not. And I would rather him be who he is than somebody he's not. He's a leader, but at the quarterback, you got to be vocal, and that doesn't mean yelling. That doesn't mean cursing, but I can't just get sacked, get up and just to the sideline. All right, guys. It's some times, dog. He need to be up in the O-line. Hey, man, you need to block for me, man. But like, it's sometimes you got to.
Tom Brady don't even say that. Tom Brady don't even say that. Tom Brady say, "Man, get him the fuck out of the game."
Because he got that kind of. Because he got that. Nobody guarantee it. But I guarantee in practice, Tom Brady don't rip one of them old linemen before. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm just saying when a leader comes, and people say leaders are not born and made. Nah, they born.
They're born.
They're born.
You are born who you are. You can't. You born that way. You can't develop that.
Yeah, it's some people that you have to modify, and some people learn how to lead, but they already possess the qualities to lead. You understand what I'm saying? And that's the difference, man. I think Garcia has it. I don't know if TVD has that. I don't know. But here's my second question, though, guys. We talk about the unknown now, and I'm just telling you from a coaching perspective. I done had me a shorts All-American now. I done had a shorts All-American now. This boy throwing things on the dime. And we got that first game, and my man got up under his chin like a party hat. Guess what my man say? He went and sat on that bench like this. He was in straight shock. He ain't never been hit like that before. Now, I know Jake may be hit before in high school, but he ain't never been hit by no 23-year-old grown man that's paying taxes, got 2 kids, a family, and trying to go to the NFL.
Mm-hmm. Kane Shay's uncle said Garcia is the future. I'll put the stream key if you Kane Shay's uncle. Kane Shay's uncle said Garcia is the future.
The thing with that is, though, is Van Dyke, you could kind of say the same thing. What much have you really seen with Van Dyke where he's kind of been put in that situation where it's like, all right, you got a team like Alabama that's going to be coming at your neck. In a sense, they're kind of at the same point. And to be honest with you, if I was Van Dyke, I would be a little worried that Garcia is already creating this much buzz only being on a college campus for 2 to 3 months. And you've been here for a year and a half.
He's not creating the Tate Martell buzz. He's creating the buzz because of the way he played. You know, I'm just being honest with you. I remember, I thought Endo Gaines was there. I thought Tate Martell, because his daddy way bigger than me, a big dude, and I thought his daddy was gonna jump on me because I flat out told him. Look, and Endo Gaines was standing right beside. I said, "Man, your son ain't that good, man. He's not as good as advertised, man." And I'm at a spring game I recorded because I was kind of upset the way they were kicking. I even got mad at Brevin Jordan. I mean, I got mad at Brevin Jordan, but I didn't say nothing because he was like, you know, we have the best quarterback in Tate Martell. I know that's your friend and everything, but, you know, I don't care who tell it. And it was no disrespect to Tate Martell, but, like, I hadn't seen any film on him except for one game he played against Buffalo, Indianapolis State B team, and he played in high school. You know what I'm saying? And then I watched him in some practices, and I said it. He always rolls to the right. He always rolls to the right and throws right. And teams teams are going to catch him. They're not going to just keep rolling right. You know what I'm saying? And that's what he did in the spring game. And he looked really bad. And I felt like, you know what I'm saying? Everybody can't be Manziel. Everybody want to be Manziel, can't be. Manziel had heart and arm. If Manziel wasn't a spoiled rich kid that got on drugs, I think he would have been a hell of a college or NFL quarterback. I think he had all the tools except for the height. I just think he was a spoiled rich kid that, you know what I'm saying, that did what he wanted to do. But you cannot deny Johnny Manziel's skill set. That dude set the world on fire. I mean, he threw every pass. Yeah, I've never seen a short quarterback like that besides maybe a Steve Young or what's the guy's name that played for Boston College back in the day, Doug Flutie.
Doug Flutie, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and Doug Flutie was really good college quarterback.
But let me ask you a question. It's funny you brought this up. Why is it that the most dynamic, like if I was a quarterback coming out today, I don't think I would want to be number one. Like I want to be like number 8, 9. And the reason I say that, why is it that the number one quarterbacks in college cannot translate to the league? I.e., I just did a show about Tim Tebow, him coming back. We're not talking about that, but I'm just talking about how, bro, just think about the things he accomplished in college. You could talk about his surroundings. We could talk about Percy Harvin. We could, whatever. He still got to deliver the ball. He still got to get the people to follow him. Comes out, nothing. Johnny Manziel, nothing. RG3. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, they can't sustain.
Jameis Winston.
Jameis Winston. Boy, you hate Florida State, boy. You might have
to throw that one in there.
Jamarcus Russell.
Even kind of put Jamarcus Russell. What's my man from the Browns doing commercials in the stadium? Baker Mayfield. I'm just saying, these kind of guys that. But then let's say let's go look at a Peyton Manning, right? Very good, but he didn't win the Natty, right? T. Martin won a Natty. Let's look at Tom Brady. Let's look at Aaron Rodgers. Like these guys that's going to go down in history as some of the top quarterbacks of all time were not true significant. I'm talking about the mainstays of college football. So I guess since Zoe left, I might just ask the question: why do you think they can't translate the game from college to the league? If that makes sense.
I think a lot of it has to do with those guys you mentioned. Their whole career, the things that helped them was either their athleticism or a special knack or talent that they brought to the game that it just seemed like nobody at the levels that they were playing at could figure out, whether it be the game speed or just something that they just brought to the table that just has never got figured out. But then when you go into the NFL, everyone's going to be at a way higher pace, a way higher speed, to where some of the things that maybe you relied your whole game after that kind of maybe got you through this whole career to get you where you are, it's not going to happen anymore. I mean, Johnny Manziel is a perfect example. He never changed his game up. And you saw that once he left college, that didn't work. I mean, Vince Young, another guy. Vince Young didn't change his game up. Came in there, you know. And a lot of it has to do with the mental part too, right? These guys were the guy to where pressure wasn't as much to him. You get into the NFL, man, you're just another guy. You're just another guy.
And another thing too, most of these quarterbacks that get highly picked or whatever. Think about it. To be the number one pick, you had to be the worst team in the league. So most of these guys are going into bad situations from the get-go. You're going into a team that probably was 1-15, 2-7, 2-14 and stuff like that. So now they got to build a team.
I get it. Now that makes sense. I was just saying, RG3 was a dog. My boy stopped playing. He was, but I'm just talking about the longevity of their careers where you got a Phillip Rivers who played, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's be honest. Unless you was a doggone NC State fan, whoever seen Phillip Rivers play or even heard, you know what I mean? Let's be real. Like, you look at these guys that had these long careers, but I guess, Brad, you make a very valid point, bro. I don't know what happened to Zoe. Is he on or no?
I'm
Yeah,
back
he's
on now. When I get kicked off, I kick
Oh
my.
man,
So,
maybe
so,
I'm out now. I don't hear you guys. I was just
No.
talking away, but I was just
No,
saying,
you
I was
hear-
just trying
I
to
hear
make a
you.
point until he came back so he could run.
I hear
Uh-oh.
you. Yeah, he is out. When I get kicked out, when it starts buffering, because we don't have we have like so many houses out here. It's like a couple thousand houses out here, and we don't have the what's buried in the ground. Fiber optic is what's buried in
Yeah.
the ground,
Mhm.
and my neighborhood doesn't have fiber optic yet. If it kicks me off, I can kick myself off. You guys can still run the channel without the channel shutting down. So if it starts blacking out, I'll kick myself off and just let you guys run it until I can get back in. But and Coach Hayes is me and Coach Hayes do something that's in common. I wait for you to get back in the chat, Coach Hayes. But me and Coach Hayes do something that's in common, which is hog hunting. Okay, and we throw this definition of dog around. We throw this definition of dog around very, very lightly. Like, what is a dog? Let me explain something to you. I'm gonna break this shit down for you. I've been breeding pit bulls. I'm 45 since I was 15 years old. Okay, and we went hog hunting. And I'm taking some guys out there with me with their pit bulls and their bullies. Don't ever take a bully out there. They'll die. Okay, but and that you will know what a dog is when that joker has to get stitches and don't quit. So when I look at quarterbacks that are dogs in college, even though Ken Dorsey had all the talent in the world, he was a dog because he took some licks. In the NFL, you look at quarterbacks that got beat up, they got and took licks and didn't quit. Everybody, just because they're a good player, don't make them a dog. What a dog is you don't quit. Even if you lose, you don't quit. If you got that real, I'm gonna stop saying dog. I'm gonna say game bred. Because anybody could be a dog. There's a lot of dogs out here. How many game bred dogs you have? So is that person game? Is that person game? Will that person get punched in the mouth and get this shit knocked out of them and get back in the game? And that's what I mean by that, because like you done been out there, coach, with some of them dogs, and you see them dogs get hit by them hogs and that tail curl up on them, and they don't want nothing else to do with that hog, man. They don't want. I see players like that too. You get that lick and your career over with. You like, man, I don't want to do this no more. That hurt. You know what I'm saying? So like, dog. To me, definition in college, Johnny Manziel was a dog. He was a dog. Trevor Lawrence was a dog. He was a dog. He was a dog. I watched him get killed. Both of them quarterbacks, even though Tua and what's his name in college, those boys were dogs. Because those boys took horrific injuries. Him and both of them got national championships. Him and Jalen Hurts. And look what Jalen Hurts did when he went to Oklahoma. You know, those guys, when you are down and out at your lowest point, can you come back and still try to get to your highest point? To me, that's what that says. And I don't know that about Garcia. I don't know about Van Dyke. I don't know about that about any quarterback on our roster.
So you just brought up an excellent point, and this is what I want to talk about. You talk about getting to their highest point, right? I think what some of us don't realize, and after talking to some of these players on the football team, some of these guys, like I mentioned before, they were the best guy in their town where they played from. And even going to college, some people were able to have the opportunity to, they fall into a certain position group on this team where they still are that guy coming in even as a freshman or sophomore, whatnot, to where their ability at their highest level of what they think, because they've always been able to start and be that guy, might be at one level. But when you finally get someone to come in behind you that might be necessarily just as good, if not better than you, and you see the way they work off the football field, the way their game is starting to progress in the practice, and you starting to see that, hey, their game's better than mine. I need to start looking to see what they do, and you're changing your habits, how you eat, how you sleep, how you train. I'll give you a perfect example.
Ray Lewis.
I'll give you a perfect example. Someone like my guy Ja'Kai Clark, right? He came in as a true freshman, didn't have no offseason at the University of Miami, and he started every single game at offensive guard his freshman year. All right. His sophomore year, he came in, he steadily, he didn't do as well. But I'm telling you right now, this year is probably the best shape he's ever been in, and he thinks the best, opportunity he has. And the number one reason why is because he's doing things that he's never been doing before, because someone like Jalen Rivers is pushing him every single day in the locker room, every single day in practice, to where he's seeing like, dang, this man might take my spot. So I need to grind a lot harder than what I ever did before. And sometimes it takes competition to do that. And the good thing about this is we keep talking about the quarterback room, but this goes for every position.
Everybody.
On the roster. We have competition everywhere. So we're about to see what's the height and the limits that some of these players could get to. Because some of these guys, they don't know their limits until they get pushed. And that's what you're going to see.
Taz H. Kane said, talk that talk, $1 million Brad. Is you got to put a B behind that Taz. It's big. My bad. The greatest dog to me in NFL history is Steve Smith from the Carolina Panthers. I mean, when have you ever seen him like quit? Like he played to the smallest guy on the field all the time.
So I got something for you though. Check me out right there, Zo.
Yes, sir.
You see
there you go. That's what I'm talking about. See, me and him do that.
Hey, man, take the comment down, make it bigger. I got the U up out there, baby. I got the U up out there.
Hey, I got to cut out, Zo, but appreciate you having me on, boss.
I appreciate you being on, LeBron, man. And I appreciate you being a part of this Kane's World Order. So,
yeah, I'm ready, bro. Come get some of this. Come get some of them Razorbacks.
On your way, I got on your way out, man. I got to salute you, man, on your way out. You know what I'm saying? So we got to do this right here, man. There we go. Hurricane TTY, man. Appreciate you coming through. And we gonna do this again, man. Much love, man. CJ Cutout, man. Love you, bro, man. We'll be on your channel next one of these days this week. And now we're down to 3 dogs. Now we're down to 3 dogs. But that's what I'm talking. Like everybody don't have to be a dog. You just have to play a role, but you have to have those certain dogs.
You gotta have
on
some
your
dogs.
team. You have to have them dogs on your team because everybody's not gonna be a dog. Everybody not gonna be a dog.
And sometimes you don't. And sometimes you don't know if you even have that dog in you until you get pushed to that limit where you got to find out if you got that dog in you. And that goes back to competition. You gotta. That's the biggest thing in it, man. That's what's gonna make the best out of you.
I tell people, dog, competition is what helps development. When people talk about development, I find it very hard. I really do. Now I find it very hard. Not all cases, but I find it very hard that these coaches come to work every day making $400,000-$600,000 a year, and they're not teaching guys how to catch. Like, I find that hard to believe. Now, there's different levels of development. I get that. I'm not trying to make an excuse. But what helps enhance development is that it's a young puppy back there licking his chops, waiting for you to leave that bone on the table.
Yeah.
And he back there just waiting for you. Go ahead, dog, drop another one. And you know he back there. That's when that's when the players are more receptive to development. Because like you said, when those guys go to the league, they were the man, right? Well, guess what? When they come from high school, I tell our players all the time, bro, you got to remember, you're going from being the man to being a man. And that process starts over again when you go to the NFL. You go from being the reason you're in the NFL because you were probably the man on that team. Mm-hmm. They are not drafting the third best cornerback from that team. They're not. It's just like recruiting. Nobody's going to ever come and say, "Hey, coach, man, who's your third best cornerback you got?"
What they say is, "Who's your best cornerback?" And you got to take my friend.
Yeah, but I said corner. Yeah, but like, coach, hey, coach, who's your backup center? I really want to give him a scholarship. It doesn't work like that. They're going to get the best from this school, that school, and then they're going to compare them all. You understand what I'm saying? They're going to compare them all, and they go out of that, man.
I can say, though, the brilliance of Manny Diaz is two things. The transfer portal, he's brilliant at that. But he's an excellent politician. He learned from his father. He knows how to talk to these kids. He knows how to get them to believe to come to Miami. And like I said, the thing that he was missing was 1-star coaches. He had a bunch of 1-star coaches, man. And, you know what I mean? And it ain't like you say, none of these schools go to get the backup. The backup center, but for some reason Miami always when they got the backup coaches.
Because they weren't paying. Because they weren't paying them, man.
But Julio Frank changed that. Julio Frank. You can see that now, like Julio. Because see, I remember a lot of people talked about what's the AD name? Y'all maybe Blake James. Blake James. So many people talk bad about Blake James. And Blake James, if you get rid of Blake James, people don't understand. Let Blake James walk out the door. That money ain't coming in. For some reason, these boosters love Blake James. The fans might not love him, but he raised a lot of money for that school. Donald Shalater was taking a lot of that money and putting it into the medical program. But Julio Frank put that money back into the football program. And you can actually start this. And it hasn't been that long since he's been there. He got there. He hired Mark Richt. I think his first year he hired Mark Richt. So it's not like he's been there that long. But you can see the changes, you know what I'm saying, just a little bit by little bit. I just think we want that bump. And do we deserve that bump as a fan base? We do in certain ways. But I keep telling fans, if you want the best coaches and all that stuff there, I keep saying it. They can get mad at me for it. Bro, listen, kids they're social media kids today. They like attention. They like sellouts. These are things that they like. So the reason, a lot of times they go to Alabama and get money because I can show you kids with pictures with brand new cars and stuff that go to Bama. When Nick Saban leave Bama, I can guarantee you it's gonna be some hellified investigation when he leave Bama.
Look, I'm gonna just piggyback on that before I head out for the night.
Yeah, me too.
With that being said, is I think with our program, unfortunately, we don't put a lot of investment into our football program like we should, right? When you look at any SEC program, even some of the ACC teams, Virginia Tech, North Carolina, there's teams all across the nation, Oregon, everyone. When you look at it at the end of the day, our program is one of those teams, unfortunately, where they have to see the result consecutively before they put money in and believe in this program no, I'm talking about boosters and the people higher up. What I'm saying is we don't have the people that aren't football minded, right? Like you mentioned, a guy like Blake James, Julio Frank, those guys aren't football minded. They're booster minded. They, like you mentioned, you hit it on the head. They know how to get you money, right? But that's only half the battle. At the other end of that battle, you could have all the money, but if you don't know how to facilitate it, it don't mean nothing. So what we're at right now is that we're not dedicating the money wisely to the University of Miami to where we might have one good season or have a good season and then we tail off at the end of the year, to where our people higher up don't believe that result is going to carry over for 2 to 3 to 4 years to eventually build a powerhouse football program again. And in order to do that, you need the money behind you in those facilities, and we aren't doing it. And what you're going to see is the guys like T-Rob, like you're mentioning, right? The Bob Shoops. These guys are still on a budget with us. We are getting very lucky right now that we have this staff in place because we're still not spending the money on the football team. Rhett Lashley could have easily went and gone to UCF and been what Gus Malzahn is right now and gotten a lot more money. All right. He would have took Likens. He would have took Justice. A guy like T-Rob, he already mentioned in his interview that he took less money to come to the University of Miami instead of going right back to the University of Florida, where he's already proved what he could do. He's already proved that he could put guys in the next level. But he wanted a change. He wanted to come to the University of Miami and make a difference. A guy like Bob Shoop, guy has over 30 years of experience.
Living in Miami.
And he's only getting costed with us like $300,000 right now. He's getting paid by his other contract. So after this year, you're going to have to figure out, are you going to pay T-Rob? Are you going to pay Bob Shoop? Are you going to pay Rhett Lashley? And a lot of that is going to have to do on how well your season is this year. And that goes back to what we were saying. This isn't necessarily pressure on Manny Diaz to have a good season, but as a football season as a whole. Because this season right here, if we have an average season, Lashley's going to be gone. Likens could be gone. T-Rob could be gone. Bob Shoop will be gone. And now you're going right back to square one with the same head coach that wasn't able to get it done, with coaches that you now thought could get it done because you've already seen they could do it at other programs.
Can I ask you the question before you get out? Has it gotten better over the past couple of years? I think it's gotten, me personally, I think it's gotten better. Has it gotten better? You think it just stays status quo since
I think we've taken a step or two, but I think we need to take leaps. I think at this point where we need a leap. We're in a third year with Manny Diaz, and we're starting to get acclimated. And it goes back to before Manny Diaz. This goes to Mark Richt, right? He kind of set the blueprint on some of the things that need to be in place in order to see how a football program in the modern day should look like. We're starting to do it facility-wise, and now we have to do it on the football field by changing to a modern-day offense.
This is why I get to the fan base at, though. I'm sorry, Coach. This is why I get with a fan base. You can't put 15,000 people in a seat and expect to make money. Like, this is what gets me. Like, as much as the onus is on the higher levels, which it is, a lot of that money, like those, even though there's nothing to do in Alabama, all those teams that you named, Oregon only has a 60,000 seat stadium, 55,000 seat stadium. It's sold out and outside the parking lot. I think that if Miami fans really want the Hurricane to be back, we have to do our part as well. By going to the games, by supporting the teams, by selling, we have to do our part as well, because if we just, it's like if you work for a company and you just leave it on upper management to handle everything and you do nothing as an employee, then the company's going to fold. We have to do our part as well and stop blaming it's too much to do in Miami.
So let me say this before I get out. I got to get out of myself. Hey, we can go for a minute, but I got to get out of here. I'm going to get my head knocked off.
Me too. I got company.
But listen, I'm going to say this to what Brad was saying, to his point. Right, and here's what a lot of people we've talked about it, but we haven't talked about it in essence. The money that we do have, think about how much money we hemorrhage a year just in paying for the stadium. See, we can't invest that money because we got to give it to my man who owned the Dolphins, not Bob Ross. I'm talking about the painter, Stephen Ross. Right? You think just because he in Miami, he gonna get a Miami hurt? He went to Michigan. He don't care about Miami. We have to pay for that stadium. We have to pay for the rental. We got to pay the police department. We have to pay all these people. So think about how many dollars that we lose just in going that 25 miles or whatever it is from campus to there, right? Think about all the money that's paid out from the grounds crew. We have to pay all of those different things. We don't have our own stadium, so therefore we can't invest into part of the tour, right? When you say facilities, is going to the game day stadium. Like Peyton Manning invested money into the game day stadium at Tennessee. It's beautiful. Been there. Beautiful, right? We don't have that. So I don't even think that's part of the tour. We're going to drive 25 miles to take them to the Dolphins stadium. And then the Dolphins had the nerve to change the inside to teal, which has nothing to do with the Hurricanes. That was a slap in the face. At least when it was orange, we could play it off. Now the inside it ain't even green, it's teal. You know what I'm saying? So that's that, and then the second part to what you were saying, like you said, you invest in this money, but where's the money going? We can't tell that. Like all that money, I guess Zoe got I'm telling you, it's something with StreamYard, bro. I've been on there an hour before them. They kick us off, but anyhow, that's another issue. But anyway, like I said, we're renting the facility. We're renting the stadium. We're renting all these different things. All of the buses and all of that stuff you have to do just to do that when most people play right on their campus. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You don't have to rent a bus. Well, they probably still do, but it's a lot of logistics into that foolishness. And then the last part that Zoe was talking about, I wanted to bring up the fan base.
Yes.
So I want you to understand, I know you know this, but I'm not just saying because you brought up the question. People have to understand the demographics of Miami. Miami is a transient city. We're a lot of transplants here. There are a lot of people from New York, a lot of people from different places that are here. And the second thing is, if you are from the city, you typically, believe this or not, I know people don't want to say this, but most people can't afford to go to the games. I hate to say that. When those games were packed, I guarantee a lot of those people were the fly-by-night fan that wanted to go for the experience. Just like when the Miami Heat was winning. We're going to the game. We're in Miami. Let's go see LeBron and them play. They're not Miami fans. They're a Miami fan of the night. Yep. They are fans of the time. They are not true fans. Just because they put on the colors don't mean you're a true fan. If you look at the majority of the people that live in the city, hell, bro, I'm right here, prime example. I moved because it got too expensive. I took a pay cut and make more money.
Oh, that's why I give away so many tickets.
I know, but I'm just trying to say that it's hard. It's hard to fill up the stadium, even at the Dolphins. You know what? There are a lot of people that come from here. You know what the most sold out game is for the Dolphins? Anytime they play the Giants or the Jets. You want to know why? Because there's a lot of New Yorkers in South Florida.
Yeah. You know, but me, I thought, as me being a New Yorker, from the city, most New Yorkers from the city are Miami Hurricane fans. I'm just being honest with you. Most New Yorkers from the city, because we don't have a college team. So most New Yorkers from New York City are Miami Hurricane fans.
Yeah.
Like, you go look back in the days. You go look at back in the days and look at the videos.
There's a lot of fair weather. Yeah, but there's a lot of fair weatherness compared to, and let's say this last thing. I know we can keep talking, get off here. You look at Alabama, Ohio State. What people don't realize, that's old football. That's old football. That's generations of football.
That's all they got, man. That's all they got.
Bro, the state of Alabama will not let a pro team in there because they only want Alabama and Auburn. That's it. They won't even let a pro team come in there.
So you know what? You know what our job is
football.
Our job as YouTubers is to pick this program up as much as we can and try to get as many fans in that stadium as we can, because we want the team to be great again. We want those championships. So I just take it upon myself, you know what I'm saying, to speak it up and talk about it. And I say, no matter what, if I'm not at a game, my seats will be free. I say, I got 2 season tickets and they cost me like, what, $500 for the year, somewhere around there.
Look, at the end of the day, to piggyback off what Coach Hayes says, man, we're kind of handcuffed as a university because we're in such a big city, to where going back to the city of Miami, man, everybody knows that the city goes wherever the buzz is, and unfortunately, Miami hasn't created that buzz to even get the opportunity to fill that stadium. And when you talk about, hey, we need to pack the stadium, all this. Well, we're trying to pack it. Unfortunately, there's not that many diehard Cane fans like ourselves that will drive, the 6 hours like myself each way, to every single home game. They'll fly to the Clemson games and to the bowl games. There's not enough of us to pack that stadium yet. And unfortunately, the city of Miami, it goes wherever the buzz is. You saw what Coach Hayes brought up the perfect example. The Miami Heat, that stadium was always jumping when LeBron and Bosh and Wade together.
And to be honest with you, they were late to them games.
And they were late to the games.
They were late, but
because it's a fashion show, bro. The majority of the people are celebrities who are vacationing. But guess what? We'll be in Miami this time. Let's see if the Heat are playing. That'd be something cool to do. Maybe LeBron might holler at me. I don't know. What I'm trying to say is, we are a entertainment city, and you have to remember this about the University of Miami and about the city of Miami. South Beach was not South Beach until it got to the late 90s, early 2000s. South Beach was old people went there to die. You understand? I mean, they rocked in the rocking chair, and they went there, and then when they passed away, and that's what it was. That's it. Somebody said, you know what? We're going to make a nightlife out of Ocean Drive. They made a nightlife out of it. Boom. Now it became a big thing. USC goes through the same thing. Southern California.
Yep, they go through the same. That's like that beautiful. When I was playing last city, my girl took me to the
yeah, but let's be real. USC was USC. But when Reggie Bush was there, who came out? All of Hollywood. Brad Pitt, Tom Cruise at the game. I bet you won't see him at the game.
Because they bought his mom in them houses and shit.
But what I'm saying is, it was the thing to do. They're not going to Eugene, Oregon to watch a football game.
I mean, they had investments in Reggie.
And so, hey, so did our folks, huh?
Yeah,
so did our.
Hey, I can show some Alabama. I'm saying Alabama players. That boy got a brand new scat back. I said, God dang, he got a
I'm gonna say this last thing. I'm gonna say this thing about a fan base, and I'm definitely out of here. I met a person. You know Ohio State's colors, right? They're scarlet and gray, right?
Yeah.
This dude named his daughter Scarlet and Gray. Their last name was Gray. That's what you're talking about. Nutso. They nuts, right? Your last name is Gray. You name your daughter Scarlet and Anne Gray.
I can say this right here.
They dogged his name Buck and the other one named I. I mean, that's the kind of fan base. I'm just saying that's the kind of I see it because I see it on my when I do these videos. They send me pictures, man. They got Buck in this hand, Brutus in that hand. I mean, it's like people paint their houses. They got competition. They paint their house scarlet and gray. Michigan, maize and blue. Like their house is painted that color.
I can guarantee you this right here, and this is why YouTube is so afraid. A lot of people, if they ain't go to games, like if we were all able to broadcast them games live, it would be a different fucking story. Like because most people like me, I like to watch on my 65. It's better. You know what I'm saying? If they were able to broadcast them games, I tell people to go get Freedomcast TV so you can catch every single game. What we're doing with social media right now, what Brad is doing, what Coach Hayes is doing, T2Y, myself, the hosting one, Paul Scoop, we are all doing right now.
Miami Flow, my boy,
Miami Flow, my brother, Miami Flow. He was supposed to be on tonight. Happy, I think it's either wife's birthday or anniversary. Happy, whichever one happened. Congratulations on it. What we are doing right now, to me, is trend setting because, like I said, the hurricane. I mean, the recruits hear us. Brad, you talk to them. They hear us and they see how we fight for them. I think that's the one thing that helps that we have over any school in college football is social media. We have this shit on lock. We have it on lock. There's not a school closer to us that has it on lock when it comes to Twitter, Facebook, IG. We have so many Facebook pages. I think that's the one thing that's helping us is the different personalities and the way we do it. And as long as we keep doing our job, man, I think we'll eventually be successful, man.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You know what I'm
All
saying?
right, fellas, I got the roll. I'm about to get whooped, dog.
Hey, no. I gotta play the song before we leave, man. I gotta play the song because we all got it together.
Yeah, well, I'm out as well.
This is the first Kane's World Order show, man. We had Hurricane T2Y. We had Hurricane CJ on. We had what do we have? We had a few people on tonight, and I truly enjoyed it. Everybody was in black, and I promise you, whatever those guys have, I'm supporting Little Team, Staple Game, the Little Team, Staple Game. We're getting the $1 billion brand, hashtag $1 billion brand. Hashtag $1 billion brand. Hashtag Little Timmy Staple Game. Let's get this going so all of us can continue to give you guys this content that we give you. And I love you guys to death, man. You two guys really brought so much joy to my life, man. I appreciate you guys, man. You guys have a great weekend. Enjoy your family. Love everybody in chat. Victoria, love you. Hurricane Kilo, love you. My last thing, the chains are in. You want a chain, holler at me. The chains are in 12 millimeters. Chains are really nice. If you want one, holler at me. And whatever I get, I promise you, from this show or any show, it is split with all of the members of CWO. Because they members of this, period, point blank. And I'm members of their channel even if they don't want me to be. Alright? Love you guys, man. Shout out, throw that you up, man. We love you guys. We out of here.
Stand up.
Kane's World Order. Kane's World Order.